Welcome back. We just had one round of stock picks and 12 more to go. So it's time for our second round for 16 for 16. Let me start round two with you, Mr. Tulsian. BF Utilities at 640, what the current price?
See, Anush, this is the holding company of Bangalore-Mysore corridor. This is the corridor developed of 164 kilometers on the land area of 20,000 acre plus. As I said that this is a Kalyani Group company, holding company, and they are holding 66% in this whole project. If you just go by the market cap, sub 2,500 crore, debt on a consolidated basis is about 2,000 crore. That means EV is less than 4,500 crore. And major of the land parcels have all been acquired. First phase of 64 acres has already been in the place, as the work is all going on. And in fact, this is truly the concept of smart city which has been visualized and, launched by this government, where all the integrated townships are developed. So they will be developing 5 townships on this stretch. And the first part which I said of 64 kilometers, in fact, this is the periphery of Bangalore city. So you are practically developing the periphery of a developed city which is getting so congested. And that 64 kilometers has, is connecting NH4 and NH7. When you travel from Bangalore, you get these 2 national highways, which you have to pass through. Either you have to use NH4 or you have to use NH7. Along with all the amenities, kind of 3 kilometer elevated road, 40 kilometer expressways and all that. If you see in fact, this company is releasing their quarterly results, which is released on a standalone basis. That has no meaning. One should look the consolidated numbers. And if you see the FY15 consolidated, that is September ending, they have posted an EPS of 16 rupees. That means the assets or the business have already started yielding results to the company. We keep hearing some of the cases are pending. In fact, they fought the legal battle till Supreme Court and have won in all the places. But few Karnataka High Court cases are pending, which I don't think that they are of much significance. So that will not come in the way. And this will be just smooth for next 10 to 15 years. And one can understand the kind of development. As I said, 20,000 plus acre of land is being developed, in which 5 integrated townships with all these things are developed by the company and their subsidiaries. They bring in this specialized partner into those SPVs. So still in the step down subsidiaries also, they don't lose their stake below 55-60%. So taking all this into consideration, I have a target of 1,000 rupees, but I won't be surprised to see a price of 2,500 to 3,000 rupees also in next 3 to 4 years.
Prakash, what's your next stock?
So the next stock I have is virtually really going for gold. It's a company called Deccan Gold Mines. In fact, it's the only private sector player in that space because typically the government doesn't let anybody take away the treasures. Now, ever since this company got listed, it's had a mixed kind of luck of sorts. And gold mining is a lot of luck. But the reconnaissance studies that they've done in all the mines that they have, the licensed mines that they have in states of Karnataka, Andhra, Rajasthan, Kerala, they've had some very high probability of gold deposits being available. And they've been very successful internationally also. They own a lot of mines in Australia and all where they have been quite productive. So they've virtually kind of mastered the technology of doing it in a very short span of time. Traditionally gold mining used to take long. And by the time you reach the actual gold deposits, the cost of the burn ratio was very high. The cash burn was very high. But they've done a lot of work on that. And what's changed now, and that's the trigger, and I think 2016 should probably be one of the best golden years for them, is there was a legal issue they had in 2 of their mines, 2 of their sites, which were very high on probability of striking gold. One of them is Ganajor, and the other is, it's a tongue twister, but it's some Maglapatti or something in Karnataka, and that's finally got cleared. They also had a rights issue. They wanted to augment their capital and build resources. And the rights issue has got an overwhelming response. It's been subscribed by a lot of marquee names. If you see the list, you'll be very impressed by the kind of people who are putting their money where their mouth is. And this area is something where typically multi-baggers will be, and as you said, what do you look for in a multi-bagger? The conviction and the faith to go after a loss-making company and expect it to turn around is only when you will see a multi-bagger. I mean, if a company is already doing well, you're paying a high PE multiple on a growth stock, you really can't expect it to double and triple in 2-3 years. But
you want to name the people who are investing in it, Prakash?
so the Motilal Oswal Group in the personal capacity has, of course, done it. Jupiter Asset Management does it. There's a very well-known bank in UK that's done it, which is again promoted by very well-known market investors. So, and significant quantums. It's not about just a token investment to lend a name. So I think this area of the industry is very unexplored of sorts, literally and virtually. But gold should kind of, be a great operational asset for them.
But the stock
if not
hasn't
as an
done
investment.
anything, Prakash, in the last many years now, right?
Yeah, but it's been a very recent entry into the market. So if you see, whatever they've been doing has been more of maintenance, trying to survive. And this legal thing has been taking a lot of sheen away. It does kind of put a spanner in your works, because when you know the high probability of gold there and you can't do anything in digging it. So they've started doing it finally. So I would give them at least 6 to 12 months, and hopefully when we meet next year, if we do, and you don't throw us out, then definitely there would be some gold that they would have struck.
Okay. Amrish, a while back we were discussing Ingenious India, and that I believe is one of your picks for 2016.
Basically, again, that's a contrarian pick. Basically because the last 3-4 years has been quite pathetic for this sector. Despite that, Engineers has performed decently well. Now, the user industry of theirs is refineries and in the oil and gas sector, where we have seen that in the last 1.5 years, they have become cash positive. There's a decent generation of cash. And the last couple of years, what had happened was they really couldn't go in for expansion because there was no free cash flow. Now, in the last 1.5 years, because of the oil prices coming down, we have seen them performing extremely well, HPCL, BPCL, IOC, and they are the customers for Engineers India. So going ahead, clearly, I think the order flow will be very decent. And if they have done decently well when the environment was bad, just imagine as to how the performance would be. It could be a multi-bagger performance when the environment improves. So over the next couple of quarters, I clearly expect a very decent order flow. And again, looking at valuations also, it's comparatively cheap, 15 times expected FY17. So I think at these levels, one should be looking at buying it. Although it's moved up, I started recommending it at about 175, 180.
Yes.
Currently, it's about 220, 225. But I think even at these levels, there's a very decent upside.
Okay, so that's Amrish Baliga's next pick, Engineers India. Purinju, coming back to you, you've picked Biocon as the next stock. This is a stock that has frustrated a lot of investors. 2 years back, it was 480, and today it's 480. What gives you so much conviction that this stock will grow going ahead?
In fact, Sonia, if you see my history, how I have created multi-baggers. The time when I bought some of those multi-baggers, people were frustrated with them. That's one, I'm just telling an idea, how to look at stocks. Now, Biocon, I think first time I'm going to talk about a stock which I don't own. I never bought this stock in my life. I think this is over a decade old, after listing. And it never created wealth for the shareholders. Every investor should be unhappy. Again, it might have just met the inflation of all these years, and people are disappointed. But I feel it's at an inflection point again. This company is looking up. They have cleaned up all the mess in the company. The Syngene is separately listed. And it is into, the real research and on the biology side. I think there is a huge potential and opportunities for this company going forward. And even the management is likely to get more dynamic. And the stock is not very cheap, 9,700 crores market cap. I feel I'm just looking at the stock for picking for my PMS. I haven't bought the stock yet. All other stocks I'm holding. I'm just telling it as a disclosure. So Biocon can be an excellent compounder for the next 5 years. They can grow to, they have been talking about $1 billion revenue by the FY19. Only 3 years. And today it is around 2,200 crores kind of a revenue. So I feel it's a very appropriate time for a reasonable compounding. When I say reasonable, something like 30-35% compounding for next 5 years is possible.
Okay,
that's far from reasonable. So two things we learned from you, that you need to be a frustrated investor and you need to be an investor who puts no hard work at all, correct?
No. When others get frustrated, you speak it. I never get frustrated.
Okay.